Welcome to Straight from the Source. Our guest today is Dino Corbin. This is a silly expression, but I'm going to use it. The man, the myth, and the legend, right? Because I've heard your name since I started working here.
Sure. Yeah, I remember yours too. I want to tell you what a great job you did on the campfire.
Oh gosh,
Absolutely
well, thank you.
Outstanding job. Very proud of you.
That was an insane day because
that was an insane day.
I was a morning reporter at the time,
right.
and that very morning, I was up there at the ice rink in Paradise because the ice rink season was about to launch, right? They had just laid it down, which was a huge event for the community back then. And I started heading down the hill, and all of a sudden we see that plume and polka, and everybody's life changed forever.
I'm driving from Coffee, and I'm looking toward the hills, and I'm going, where did this storm come from? Anthony missed this. I got to call Anthony. How'd you miss this storm? And it's not a storm.
Right.
It's fire. It's
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yes. And that was, another thing, did I get to say this when I introduced you? So you're the general manager for Deer Creek.
I am a partner.
And partner for Deer Creek Broadcasting, which is basically all the radio stations in this area.
We have 5 radio stations in the market.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
But you used to be the general manager here.
I ran my career with KHSL and the call letter started in 1972.
Okay.
And I left here in 2001.
Yeah, that's a very long time.
So I ran Channel 12 from, 1976, 77. No. I went 77, 76 was radio. I ran radio until then. And then in 78, 80, I came over. And then we built this facility in 82.
So tell me about the history of this station. And I know we have KHSL and KNVN right now, so you can watch us on multiple channels. But it wasn't always that way.
No. In the beginning, there was Channel 12 and Channel 7 was referred to as Channel 7R, the ABC affiliate in Reading.
Okay, yeah.
And we both have what's called, as you know, a hyphenated market, a Chico Reading market. So we were the CBS, they were ABC. In the beginning, we were the Dumont 1950s, Dumont network with CBS, and also some NBC programming.
Yeah.
So we were actually, Channel 12 was actually the first TV station, and in 53, we were serving Sacramento.
Okay, really?
Yeah, because of the power we had and what was going, and they were still in the process putting together the licenses for 3, 10, and 13 down there. So, it's got pretty heavy-duty legacy, and the McClung Broadcasting started the company back in 1935 with radio, first radio stations up here, and then in the 50s they said television, not TV.
Right. Wow.
But a lot of history's gone through. A lot of great people have gone through the halls of KHSL, which stands for Harry Smithson and Sidney Lewis.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, those are the 2 gentlemen who were invited by the Chico Chamber of Commerce to bring a radio to Chico because it was the new thing to stimulate commerce. So the chamber asked Harry Smithson and Sidney Lewis to start a radio station, and they did. And once they got it started, they sold it to the McClungs, and the rest is kind of history. But that's what HSL stands for.
Do you know what KNVN stands for?
North Valley News, I think, is what it was originally. Channel 24 was another interesting startup. We had a friend of mine who started doing it. They went through some really interesting times to begin with, but there was no NBC affiliate here, obviously. So KCRA in Sacramento covered it quite a bit. And that was always who we competed against. So Channel 12 in Chico was competing with the #1 station in the Western United States, which was great because we just copied them. We did
now we share content.
Now we share content, same with KFBK. And we do a lot of good stuff with them. But at the end of the day, Channel 24 signed on. Melquario, great guy, startup station. We had a lot of fun competing against each other. And then ultimately they were running into some severe financial problems under another ownership. And we ended up putting together a deal where we were the first TV stations in a market this size first stations market anywhere to combine 2 network television affiliates under one roof.
Really?
So when we put that together, that was another interesting turn of events where we were going to merge our newscasts and our news operations into one. And that was a year-long process that we had to navigate through the FCC and everything. So.
Somebody had asked me just the other day, like, why do you call yourselves Action News Now? And I was like, well, because we can't say KHSL or KNVN because we're both. You know, we have we are Telemundo as well, and it's kind of a cool thing.
No, it fits.
Yeah,
you bet.
And I love the way to the ability to reach people on different channels. A lot of times people, they kind of just watch whatever the show they were watching before like feeds into, right?
Yeah.
And so we just have the ability to grab new viewers, I guess, who wouldn't have even maybe known about us. And then the TV's left on. And
technology changed, and it was changed everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you know, I went through when we were playing records on the radio to all the way to now. There's not a record in our radio stations except behind my door, in the vaults. But there's, you know, the technology that's available that has allowed not only us in radio to have multiple distribution aspects, but the same for TV. And then, you know, how do you navigate all that with all the other competition?
Well, and it's so interesting, right? Because I'm midway through my professional career. We'll put it that way, right? I'm not about to retire, but it's kind of too late to change course now. And I love what I do.
Well, that's good.
But I don't own like a television. I don't have pay for television, right? I stream it on an app.
Sure.
And that's kind of a weird thing to be working in broadcast and not even really get a broadcast channel.
Yeah, I think the key to how do you compete in a world where there's so many sources?
Yeah.
Local.
Right.
Every people still want to know what's going on.
I agree.
And they want the news. They don't want social engineering. They don't want, you know, whatever. Do the news, present the news.
Well, and it's interesting, like, have you seen what Scripps is doing, I think, where they just have reporters in the fields? Like, I don't think they even are using anchors right now. It's just like, this reporter is doing this local story. And it's just kind of a continuous 24-hour insert packages, right? Which, I guess I see that, but being an anchor, I think that there is something nice about that family sort of feel.
Well, you're invited. You always remember that we're all invited into people's homes.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
And you know, we're invited into their bedrooms. We're invited into their bathrooms. We're invited into their homes. And you know, we have to always, I think, remind ourselves that that's who we are, what we do, and who we serve, who we're supposed to serve.
Right.
That's the big thing. So you know, taking care of employees, taking care of the people that work with you, that's highest priority. Taking care of the community. I mean, when we did the Ginny Jones thing, and that created the death of Trash Talk Television when I did that here. You know, people said, how can you censor? How can you do that? Well, it was going against our values as a company. It was going against community values with the topics and things they were doing.
Well, tell me more about what change you made there.
Oh, in 1995, you know, there was 23 Trash Talk television shows, all vying to, you know, see who could put the worst content on the screen. And there was a very unfortunate situation where they used to call them ambush tactics. And in this particular case, they brought a gentleman out onto the screen and told him he had a secret admirer. And the secret admirer turned out to be a gay gentleman. And, you know, that didn't go over very well. But 2 days later, this guy killed the other guy.
Oh, my gosh.
And that created obviously a big firestorm in the industry.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the Ginny Jones show was not held responsible for that. That happened after the fact.
Right.
He was told it might be a male or female. In any event, it was very unfortunate, but what it did was it triggered the fact that this isn't going in the right directions. And we used to get here at Channel 12 a notice in Master Control said this is the topic of the show. It's going to be aired live today, or was recorded live that day. And they would say things like, oh, you know, couple gets married in a hot air balloon. Okay, no.
Sure.
Couple gets married nude in a hot air balloon with 3 or 4. I mean, it was really, really disingenuous
Yeah,
as to
yeah.
what they were doing with that show. And I brought it up. I said, look, I've got a problem with this. And, you know, you guys need to either A, be accurate with what you're going to present so we can make a determination. We're responsible for the license. We're responsible to our communities. And they ignored me. And so the next one was I'm sitting in my office and watching the show, and it's a kind of a blind date routine, and this guy's sitting in a chair, and these strippers would come out and grind on him and lap dance him and do all this. And I go, you know, this isn't who we are
Right.
at Channel 12 in our community. So I canceled the show.
Yeah.
And I put in, we had on the shelf Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
So I just filled it with Little House on the Prairie. Well, the next thing I know, CNN's on the phone. They call, and I think I don't need CNN, thank you. I'm a Fox affiliate, we're good. CBS affiliate, we got our own news feeds. No, they want to talk to you. I go, okay, fine. We're going on the air live in 25 seconds. Excuse me, what? And they had heard about me canceling the Jenny Jones show for content.
Yeah.
And in those days, you didn't cancel a film contract. You just either wrote it out, spun the spots, or you put it on the shelf.
Sure.
But you kept sending them, and I just completely canceled them. Well, the next day, CBS was in the front door, NBC was in the front door, ABC was in the front door. I started getting calls and letters from all over the world, because of CNN at the time, about what I had done and congratulating me for taking a stand.
Yeah.
That went on for about a little over a year, and at the end of the day, I got literally thousands and thousands of cards, letters, emails from people saying, thank God that you did that. And of course, Warner Brothers wasn't happy. They kept threatening me. And turned out the producer of Warner Brothers was Jenny Jones's friend. And so it was like, okay, I get it. No big deal. But it was, in the ratings, you know, Jenny Jones was actually number 2 to Oprah. And so you look at it and go, oh, you know, she's number 2 to Oprah in the time slot. Oh my gosh. Well, what the ratings don't tell you is how many people out here are not watching.
Right.
And that was the big message that was sent about people are starting to turn away from television anymore because we're not putting things on worthy of watching.
Right.
So at the end of the day, pretty much all but Oprah and a couple others shows went away.
Yeah.
A lot of other managers saw what I did and started doing the same thing. And I was on the affiliate board of CBS at the time, and my friend Jim Warner was president of CBS at the time. And I said, back in the day, you know, a national rating cost, well, it represented about 10,000 people. Maybe it was 100,000, I don't remember. You know, millions and hundreds of millions of viewers, people in the universe. And so I said, of all these thousands of letters, 8 of which were against me, calling me a homophobe and some other things like that because of I took this action, but there was only 8.
Yeah.
And I said to Jim, I said, look, if every one of these was a diary, if every one of these counted as a viewer diary, and they're all saying the same thing, we don't watch television anymore.
Right.
What's that telling you? In the time, CBS was number 4 in a market of 3.
Okay.
Because Fox had come along and they were chasing Fox.
Yeah.
We had a president of programming named Stringer, Howard Stringer.
Okay.
And he decided that all of our programming should take on Fox, which was really putting edgy, bloody, hardcore stuff on the air to compensate. So he took the Tiffany network, as we used to be, and made it number 4 in a market 3.
Okay.
So after I sent the letter, they had the meeting with the board. We all had a meeting about programming. Next season, our cut line was come home to CBS, or welcome home to CBS.
Yeah.
And we had Little House on the Prairie. We had Touched by an Angel.
Oh, I remember
Candid
that one.
Camera.
Yep.
We had
God, Candid Camera was a fun show.
we had Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
That was shot right by my house I grew up at. We'll
There
talk
you
about
go.
that one too.
Exactly. Well, I knew Jane Seymour. And so at the end of the day, we put programming on the air that you could watch with your family.
Yes.
And then at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, we got edgy with the police shows and the murder mysteries and things of that nature. Went from number 4 to number 1 in one season.
Wow.
And that was, the old Walt Disney. It's better to have 4 sets of eyeballs on the TV than 2.
Yeah.
Make the programming that everybody in the family can watch.
Right.
Yay, what a
Yep.
concept. So that changed. That started here in Chico.
Yeah, that's so interesting, and it's something that we think about a lot, of course, in TV news to this day, right? Like we have people like at 4, 5, and 6. Those are the shows that I usually anchor. Now, as news director, I'm responsible for the content in all the different shows. But when we're kind of building, what are we covering today? It's tough because we see the analytics. We know that people. If it bleeds, it leads sort of concept. There's something to it.
Well, that's human. That's a human nature thing.
Right. But they want to hear good stories of local community heroes.
Well,
they want to see good.
There's
too.
certainly that, and that's the balance of it. You have to tell news. If you're, there's a difference between exploitive news and news.
Right.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
If you're an exploitive, you're going to get viewers just like trash talk television was based on exploitation, and surprise and shock. I mean, you point a camera to train wreck, you point a camera to.
And people can tell. It's like the difference between, hey, you need to know this because there was a shooting in downtown Chico. The person's still on the loose. This is who they're looking for. That's information that could keep people safe.
Campfire. We were the only ones that were 24/7, meaning channel our radio stations, because we put them all on the same feed. And we were the only ones that were for 24/7, 7 or 8 days straight, putting information out about road closures, where to go, all the information. And it was, those were other kind of interesting and fun. Fun in the sense that you were involved, but it was a very amazing time. And that's why it was good to have. This is the other thing that's important in broadcasting today, having real people behind the mics and behind the cameras. We're nothing if we don't have the people that come to work every day and work with us.
Right.
If you think you're going to plug your radio stations into all satellite programming and stuff, you're going to get listeners, and maybe your business plan will work that way, but it's not serving your community.
Right. Yeah.
And the dam break, Campfire, the ensuing fires, were all examples of why it's important to keep real people in our studios.
And even the lighter stories. I grew up in a city called Agoura Hills, which is Los Angeles County. And so our news, the local news, was like KTLA out of Los Angeles, right? Never would there almost ever be a story that really had anything to do with Agoura Hills,
That's why in Agoura Hills you had the newspaper in the day.
Sure, they got the Acorn, that's fine. But when I have people, maybe they email, people will even get upset because we didn't cover their kids' high school football game. But I'm like, hey, the fact that we can cover high school football at all is so cool. I love that we can tell people what's happening in their communities because most bigger cities, less rural communities, they don't have that. They don't get that service. And so it's a neat thing.
That's one of the things that has made Chico kind of unique over the years. For the size of who we are as a community, a county, our 5 counties, for us, our metro, our DMA or at TSA, for the radio stations, is that you look at other size communities of our size, they don't have TV stations.
Right.
They don't have maybe 1, 2 radio stations. Some of them don't even have. And that's why it's important for us, for example, at our Deer Creek, it's important that our stations, we have a reach that's basically, over the air, 5 counties, roughly. Worldwide. I'm in Paris last week, listening to my stations on the app, so there you go. It's that cool. But we have had the ability to have these tools at our disposal for our communities, which has been a very, very cool thing.
So we know that everything's changing, right?
Sure.
Right now.
Always does.
Yeah, it always does. But I feel like the change with artificial intelligence and robotics and new technology has been just exponential change in the last few years. And a lot of us who are still working in the industry are kind of a little nervous, like what comes next? Like
AI, technology will always change at a square-rooted rate.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of a normal progression. People are kind of pushing back a little bit on the AI.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm hearing and seeing. I mean, it's AI crap.
Right.
Get rid of it. We're going to dump that. Certainly, there's an aspect for it. It's a technology. It's a tool that can be used. They said the same thing about the internet. They said the same thing. Newspaper was saying the same thing about radio.
Right.
Oh God, oh my, this is, it's going to ruin everything. So I think it's a new technology. It's got to be. It will evolve and it will find its place in our world.
Yeah.
The key is there will be people that completely turn everything over to it, and then they'll have a place. But I believe that the people who use it as an adjacent tool to help deliver their message or their product
Yeah.
to other human beings
Right.
are gonna be in good shape.
Yeah.
Just got to remember that. You can't say, oh, I'm gonna take the shortcut and use AI.
Right.
Okay, I can use it like I'm using I'm not using a typewriter anymore. I'm using a word processor.
Right.
Okay, so it just got to be that. You
Yeah.
got to watch out for it.
Yeah.
I still believe that people are the key. You got to be human to human.
And you think that these big companies, the owners that own companies like the ones that we run, are going to keep investing in us?
Yeah, I think they will. You can look right now at the battle going on. It's not really, it's kind of over, the battle about keeping AM in the dashboard on cars.
Okay.
Well, the big car deal, we're going to get rid of AM. Nobody listens. Well, the reality is radio, AM, FM radio, is the #1 delivery of information in the United States of America.
Yeah.
#1.
Huh.
Here's radio, here's TV, here's everybody else.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's a fact. And it makes sense because we're on every format.
Yeah.
I mean, app, speaker,
Right.
radio, you name it. Radio is there.
Yeah.
All right. And it's free.
Yeah. That's
Okay?
true.
So
And it doesn't get knocked out,
it
like if
doesn't get
there's
knocked
a
out.
power outage or whatever.
well,
I mean, yeah.
usually it doesn't,
Right.
as long as you got generators,
Yes,
like
yeah,
a campfire.
yep.
But so yeah, I think they still will invest. They're just the model's going to be different. I mean, this is not completely. It's very different from when I was here. But you're still here.
Yeah.
And you're still doing the same thing we did.
Right.
So that'll
Let's
continue.
talk about the models here. What was and it sounds like you were a pretty invested GM when it came to news, because some GMs are more like sales kind of people, and they let the news director do their thing. Were you pretty involved?
Yeah, I believe that I have a philosophy. I was very involved because to me, news was the engine that drove the train.
Right.
All right. I was very, very blessed to have very good people in this news division. Bruce Lang, for one. It was exceptional. Debbie Cobb, Linda Watkins Bennett, Royal Courtain, Anthony Watts. All of these people were consummate professionals and knew their job. I only got involved when there was a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we would have a meeting every week, and we would discuss what we're going to do this week and so forth. I wasn't the news. I didn't tell them what they had to do.
Yeah.
But they knew the policies.
Right.
And I said, do what you do.
Right.
And part of it had one of the interesting, dynamics was news had a structure. We used to call it a Christmas tree, and you put the ornaments on the. Well, at times they would get wrapped up in trying to fit the structure. I say, no. If you need to break and go 5 minutes with that story,
Sure.
or what,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Shake things up.
Just,
Get out of your routine. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Don't let the structure, don't let the tail wag the dog.
Right.
And so I would get involved in that way. But at the end of the day, the team that we had was incredible, and they did a phenomenal job. Anthony still works for me.
Yeah. Linda still works here.
Yeah, and LWB still
Yep.
works here, and and I saw Debbie the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
she's going to come on the podcast next month.
Okay,
yeah,
super.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, every birthday for me, she would bake me a chocolate cake.
She is so cool. Debbie's so much fun. I would get that chocolate dump cake, right? That one with all the, it's decadent.
Yeah, we hired hired Debbie and all of them. They were all interns and came on.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's a testament to this place and this community that some people, they come here when they're in their 20s and they stay here, right? Like me.
Well, the key is number one, if a person had a career path that wanted to go Sacramento, San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, whatever, and climb that ladder, I'm here to help you do that.
Yeah.
Give me a couple years.
Right.
And I'll be the one behind you making the phone calls
Right.
and calling for everybody. And if you want to make it a career and make your life here, like I did, because I came here in '74 to finish college, I want to make it a place where you want to come to work every day.
Yeah.
That we all work together. We didn't work, nobody worked for me, we all worked together. And most important aspect of my job was taking care of the people that worked here.
Yeah.
Within the circumstances that we had to deal with.
Yeah.
And it worked.
I always feel like I spend so much time in this building, right? And you have a lot of obligations and you have to hold people accountable, but I truly want the people who work here in our news department and beyond to be happy. Yeah. I think of us like a family.
Absolutely, we're a family.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, we fight like family. Things get tense.
Sure.
We apologize to each other. We support each other.
Yeah.
I heard I read some paper saying, oh, that's a toxic thing. You shouldn't say work family. But you know what? You spend 40 to 60 hours a place somewhere.
But that's kind of that woke stuff that go away. Thank you very much. We're a family. There's nothing wrong with family. There's nothing wrong with mom. There's nothing wrong with dads.
Right.
Period. And that's what we strive. When that started to kind of creep in, I just say, look, not here.
Yeah.
Not leave that at the front door. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I have no objection to having a positive outlook about the people I work with
Sure.
and being supportive of each other for sure.
Yeah, being inclusive, but let's stop this.
Yeah.
Let's stop this division. That's the part that's big.
Yeah.
So and the same at my radio stations. We're a family, and you bet but the tenure there is almost, with the full staff and the part-timers, is pushing 400 years.
So
collectively, as you know.
right. So for I know there are multitude of different shows and different DJs and hosts. Are you part of the hiring process for any of your on-air people?
All the hiring is approved by me.
Okay. So
generally, we'll sit together and somebody will say, well, I want to bring so-and-so, or we need this announcer or this, and I say, okay, let's talk. Let's talk about it.
what are some of the qualities that you really look for in someone who's going to be, the voice of your community?
Stability, willing to work, concept, just personality.
Yeah. It's hard to find someone with kind of a mass appeal, right? Because everybody seems to rub someone the wrong way. I always tell my on-air people, you're going to get 90% positive feedback, but there's always going to be someone
and that's, and part of that is part of the show. I'm always getting calls to a degree about Mike Baca, because Mike Baca can be contrary to Scott or what, and it's okay, because it creates a degree of discussion about what's going on, and we want to be something that people want to listen to. They might not agree with it. News talk is our news talk. Obviously, a news talk from 6 to 9 is news.
Yeah.
Well, Baca chimes in and Scott gets into it. So that's sort of that. It's a morning show.
Sure.
It's not just pure news show. And then, of course, we get into the Hannitys and everything, and that's who we are on that station. But it has to be something that's not boring.
Right.
Like, for example, I remember when I had my partners telling me, oh, you've got to sign up with Air America. Air America was the counter to Rush Limbaugh. And I said, why would I give up Rush Limbaugh for Air America? Their startup, Rush Limbaugh's established, his numbers are through the roof. Well, Air America lasted about maybe a year.
Okay.
Because all they did was complain about things. There was nothing relative
Sure.
that it did. It was all, we're going to go after Rush.
Right.
Well, thank you very much. Well, then the public didn't buy it.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to make the topics interesting, engaging. On the radio music stations, that's about entertainment.
Yeah.
It's also about news and information, this accident, this road, this fire,
Right.
whatever. But that's about entertainment.
Yeah.
And we try to be very, very apolitical, very neutral. You know, disc jockey personality, everybody has opinions and everybody has, and that's part of it.
Right, yeah.
And it's like knowing where you can do, and I was a disc jockey.
Yeah.
And I can remember doing a show and PD came in and said, nobody cares about what you think about this.
Right.
Play the music. You're right.
And it's so funny. That's a line that you have to walk as like a journalist, a news anchor, anybody who has the public's attention, right? Deciding, because something that I think that is truly the truth is that people want their DJs or their anchors or whoever it is to be real people, right?
That's why they're real people behind our mics.
Right.
Exactly.
And so I like to give some leeway to my on-air people to, hey, if you're having an emotional reaction to something, there are times when it's appropriate to show
absolutely,
it, right?
Absolutely.
But you have to be so cautious because I don't want to hear that emotional reaction if it's a story about the war with Iran and what the president that's when you
Exactly.
keep your opinion to yourself.
Exactly.
The firefighters rescue some kittens and they use like child-sized oxygen masks to revive the kittens. Hey, you tell me what you think, Alan Marsden.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you about that because
and that's those are the things that can hurt, is when you're doing something and we're all human. So you know as an op manager or you got to understand that with people. But it takes a talent and it takes discipline to say, I may not agree with this, I don't like this, I'm reporting the news. My opinion is not part of the
right.
news.
Yes.
If you want to do an opinion part about how you feel, put a banner that says opinion or editorial and let's see who salutes it and who doesn't.
Or telling people what to do. I had somebody reporting on something, a great community thing. But they were telling someone in their report, like, and you should sign up. And I'm like, no, we don't. You could tell them how they could sign up.
Yeah.
We don't tell them that they should sign up.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's, that's a learning thing.
And again, it's human.
Yeah.
So, one of the keys has always been, and I was also a deputy for 20-some years in Butte County. And one of the great parts of being a deputy was also learning about and being exposed to the human side of life, to what people go through every day, what we all go through every day, the trials and tribulations and the things. And that was very, very educational for me to get down into the trenches with law enforcement and deal with people. And I remember one of my training officers said, yeah, that person may have stolen that out of a grocery store and he's not, but you also got to realize maybe he had children at home that are hungry and he doesn't have, so it put a perspective in a young guy that was growing up in this industry as well as law enforcement.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I always kind of joke and say I don't really believe in like good and evil or whatever because it's not as black and white as that, right? It's not like this is a good guy and this is a bad guy. Everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
And and that's our job too, like as journalists and reporters to investigate and try to show things in a way that you're not painting someone in a certain light. You're just presenting these facts.
Right.
And
So.
You got out of law enforcement though, and then you got into this.
No, I was
right?
doing this concurrently.
Oh. Okay.
I went into law. I started at KHSL's DJ in '72.
Okay.
And by 1975, I was a sworn deputy.
Wow.
And I would do my shift at night, and at one time when I was nighttime, and I'd get in a patrol car during the day, and vice versa. If I was doing day shifts, I'd get in a patrol car at night.
Okay.
So I worked my close partner Mick Gray, who was our sheriff for years, and my partner for many, many years. We did law enforcement. We were Butte County sheriffs together, and It wasn't until about the last 5 years I was more of a consultant
Okay.
to Mick and to the county. And I reserve. You know, I was a level 1 reserve, which
Yeah,
means
I saw that on your
I was a
resume.
full-time. I'm a full-time trained police officer.
Yeah.
And that was a wonderful, exciting time. But I did it concurrently. And then after a while, my bosses here, Charlie Kinsley, God bless him, and Russ Pope, were kind of like, you know, we've got a lot of money invested in you, and careening around the streets at night in a patrol car probably isn't where we want you to be.
Right.
And I start backing out of it.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you got to tell me, does a sheriff's deputy listen to the radio, music radio, when on patrol?
Yes, we did. Matter of fact, Mick and I, there were no radio, AM, FM radios
Okay.
in our patrol cars.
Sure.
But Mick and I had one little transistor that hung on
Funny.
hung on the rearview mirror every once in a while.
So, without hurting anybody's feelings, who is your favorite DJ? Who comes up with the best playlists at your company?
Well, playlists are produced by each program director.
Okay. Oh, really? So the DJ doesn't just say, "I feel like listening to
Well,
the Spice Girls right now," and punch it up?
No.
Oh.
And there's a reason for that, because when I was at radio here next door, and the morning guy, Gary Smith, best DJ in the world, just absolutely, especially when we went country. But every morning at about 8:50, I could hear Willie Nelson, "Angel Too Close to the Ground." It's like, Gary,
Yeah.
stop
We know
it.
you love that song.
Yeah, but stop. But no, each program director develops their music.
Okay. And it's strategic.
And it's strategic,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know, KZAP is an incredible. Steve Michaels has done an incredible job. When we took over the rhinoceros, whatever it was, a hippo, from the other group, when we took them, we took that in 93.9 KFM, and Marty Griffin. Now, Marty Griffin is old guard, rock and roll, started KFM back in the day, dear friend of mine. And we said, Marty, come back to work. I need you to rebuild this station.
Yeah.
Which he did, and it just went through the roof. And then Marty retired, and Steve Michaels, who is Kilt Boy, who wears kilt, came in behind him, who is, 40-year veteran, and the station's through the roof now.
Yeah.
And, the original country station is The Blaze.
Yeah.
And it's great. And, of course, we have Dory on the morning on the mix.
Yep.
Mark Chase. We have Matt Ray is back, so he fills in and backs up and is part-time. And you've got Scott Michaels, Mike Baca, Anthony Watts, all there, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't have a favorite. I
Okay.
like my rock and roll,
Yeah.
classic rock, of course, but I listen to all my stations.
Yeah. Good. Me too.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Dino, thank you so much
Sure.
for everything that you've done for this company and what you continue to do now for the community.
One quick
Yeah.
note. Coming next Friday,
Okay.
Stansberry Ice Cream Social.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 6 o'clock, the Stansberry Ice Cream, Victorian Ice Cream Social at the 5th and Salem at the Stansberry home.
And people, this might air after that happens, but
Okay.
you have told me, and so I'll make sure that that's on
Perfect.
our radar because those are always
Joe
fun.
and the gang and Harley have got
Yep.
a spot already going for
Yep.
me here and everything, so it's all good.
And I mean, so many people, people in our community care so much about local history and
Yeah.
if you've never seen that home, it's pretty incredible.
It is. It's
Yeah.
considered the most historically preserved structure in the state of California.
Really? Wow.
It's never been restored.
Yeah.
You walk inside that house, it's as it was when the family last lived in it.
I've heard it's haunted. What do you think?
There's
No.
we don't do that. And we actually had a company come along, wanted to do the haunted
ghost
ghost
thing,
story.
and you're like, no.
We said, no, it's
No.
not who we are. No.
Dino, thank you so much.
You bet.
Thanks for being
Thanks
here.
for inviting me.
Thanks for listening today. I decided to offer this podcast after enough of you let me know that you wanted a deeper dive into certain stories than you get on our TV broadcasts. We elect certain people to represent our voice, but who are they really? My hope is that this podcast answers that question. I love your feedback, and I want to know who you'd like to hear from next. Just fill out that comment section and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify.